وعلى الهادي إلى الحق دعا.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا وحبيب قلوبنا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المنتجبين. In the name of our Lord, the most merciful, the most compassionate, our praise and gratitude to Him, our provider, supplier, creator, nurturer, and cherisher. May His peace and blessings be upon all of His messengers and upon the seal of all messengers, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and upon his beautiful family, immaculate family, and his righteous companions. And may the peace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be upon you and with you all, my dear brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum jami'an wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. For the families who are living in the West, for millions of Muslims who live across Europe and the North American continent, what are our responsibilities and duties? What should we do? How should we preserve our faith, our religion? What does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala want from us? There are two dimensions for our work and effort there. There are two important dimensions for our responsibilities. One, the preservation, the protection, the maintenance of ourselves and our families. This is the top priority. The second dimension of our responsibility, living in the West, in Europe and North America, Australia, New Zealand, and other places, living as a minority where the majority of people are non-Muslims. So the second part of our work and our mission and our effort should be focused on reaching out to others, inviting them to Islam. Inviting them to Islam. What we call in the Islamic terminology the da'wah, the invitation, the missionary. And these are two subjects that I will discuss. One of them, which is the preservation of the family today or tonight, and I will leave the second subject of da'wah and reaching out to non-Muslims for the next session, God willing, inshallah. When it comes to the protection, preservation, the maintenance of the family, this should be our top priority. Nothing is more important in your life as a father, as a mother, as a breadwinner, as a guardian, as a supervisor, as a trustee of a family. Nothing is more important than protecting your family and your children, protecting their Islamic manners and Islamic identity. That should be our top priority. And this is not just for us a priority. It has been the priority of all the righteous, all the leaders, all those who were concerned in this life. Listen to Ibrahim alayhi salam, the patriarch, Shaykhul Anbiya. Ibrahim alayhi salam, some 4,000 years ago, or more than that, he asks God, ربنا إني أسكنت من ذريتي بواد غير ذي زرع عند بيتك المحرم. ربنا ليقيموا الصلاة فاجعل أفئدة من الناس تهوي إليهم وارزقهم من الثمرات لعلهم يشكرون. And then he asks Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he says, وَاجْنُبْنِي وَبَنِيَّ أَن نَعْبُدَ الْأَصْنَامِ. وَاجْنُبْنِي وَبَنِيَّ أَن نَعْبُدَ الْأَصْنَامِ. رَبَّنَا وَاجْعَلْنَا مُسْلِمَيْنِ لَكَ وَمِنْ ذُرِّيَّتِنَا, and out of my offspring and children, أُمَّةً مُسْلِمَةً لَكَ وَأَرِنَا مَنَاسِكَنَا وَتُبْ عَلَيْنَا. His top prayers was, oh God, make me and my family good believers, devout believers in you. وَاجْنُبْنِي وَبَنِيَّ أَن نَعْبُدَ الْأَصْنَامِ. Help me to avoid worshipping the idols. Help me to avoid diverting from your path, which is the path of monotheism, worshipping, the path of the righteous. وَاجْنُبْنِي وَبَنِيَّ, and my offspring, my children. This was his top priority. And this should be the priority of every responsible, conscious human being. You and your children, not just you. You cannot be separated from your children. You cannot live in a world and then your family live in a different one. You have the same fate, and you stand before God on the day of judgment responsible for your children, for your family. And this should be our concern when we live in the West. Maintaining the family and protecting it does not come by itself. It's not just something that you leave and you abandon and it happens by itself. It requires a lot of work, a lot of serious effort. You have to struggle for it. That is the hardest thing to happen. The hardest thing to achieve is to keep your children righteous, is to keep your children clean, because you live in a society surrounded by mischief, surrounded by corruption, surrounded by deviation, surrounded by sins, surrounded by violations of Islamic ethics and human values. Today our children have been bombarded left and right by attacks one after the other on their ethics, on their values, on their principles, on their religion, on their belief, on their life, on their health, on their brain. We have to be very vigilant. We have to be on guard. I know this is the concern of many righteous families. Parents, they don't sleep. They think that the whole night. They spend the whole night thinking about the well-being of their children, how to salvage them, to save them, to shield them against corruption. Because sometimes you see corruption is widespread and it reaches all corners. Even some Islamic societies, Islamic centers have been plagued by moral corruption. Where do you take your children? What do? You have to be extra careful. You have to vaccinate your children and yourself and your family. And therefore, there are few things we have to do, and we leave the rest on God. Some people say, I leave them on God. He will take care of them. That is not responsible to say. God says, and I leave them on you first. Because I created you as a father, as a husband, or as a mother, as a wife, and you have a responsibility. So don't throw your responsibility on me and get busy with your own fun. You have a role. I know some mothers, they say, oh God, take care of my son because I can't do anything. You can do a lot. Once you do your share, your part, then leave for God his own part. He knows what to do. Of course, the dua of the parents plays a major role, definitely. دعاء الأم مستجاب بحق ولدها. Even the prayers of the father for his children, both the mother and the father, when they pray for the well-being of their children, it works. But that is only a supplement, one of the factors, not the entire factors. Do you follow me on this? علة ناقصة وليست علة تامة, as they teach us. That is one supplement. That is one reason, not the entire reason. So you have to do a lot more beside the dua. There are certain steps we have to follow to ensure that our children stay on the right path. And if we do these steps right from the beginning, when we establish a family, most likely, children are going to be safe. The first step, the environment inside your house has to be ethical and Islamic. What do I mean by that? There are certain things that are off limit into your house. They should not come into your house. You may work very hard to protect your heart, your house against these items. Number one, alcohol. Do not allow alcohol to come into your house at any price. Don't give any concession, no compromise on this issue. No alcohol. Absolutely no. Alcohol is intoxicant for the heart, for the mind, for the soul, for the body, for the family, for the individuals. It's a poison. Stay away from that poison. No alcohol in your house. Second, no music in your house. I know many young ones, they ask us, this is the most frequently asked question: why music is haram? Music is nice. I like music. I enjoy music. Not everything we enjoy we should do. There are many things that are physically enjoyable but morally corrupt. Even the one who does smoke, he says, I enjoy it. I enjoy smoking. I survive on smoking. Does that mean he's doing something good? Music is also intoxicant, my friends. Intoxicants. It has a big effect on your mind, on your nerve system, on your soul. Look up at some studies that speaks about the effect of music. It has bad effect. These are surveys, studies that were done in America by non-religious people, non-Muslims. I was reading the other day a new survey that came out during the month of Ramadan in America. It says music has a bad effect on our behavior. Those who always listen to music, their behavior is bad. Is bad. Is not normal. Is abnormal. They act differently. No music. والذين لا يشهدون الزور والذين هم عن اللغو معرضون. These are references in the Holy Quran that music is terrible and is bad, waste of time, and intoxicant and harmful. Stay away. Your house should be clean. No music. You have to assert this and push for this. No compromise on this. This is number 2. Number 3, no bad pictures on the walls, posters. Sometimes your children, out of lack of education or responsibility, they put some inappropriate pictures. That should be off limit too. Try to put nice portraits and pictures that inspires you with good things. Stay away from bad pictures. No bad or corrupt movies in your house, especially when the kids are there watching. Stay away from that. No parties in your house. Maybe sometimes you invite people for a celebration of a milad, birthday, no problem. Birthday of your son, your wife, yourself. A nice, decent, gathering, celebration is okay. But the parties that we see that goes on until 5 a.m. and they disturb the entire neighborhood with the crazy music and dancing and drinking and other stuff, these type of things should not enter your house. No wild parties, no mixed parties, no haram parties, and you know what I mean by that. Keep your house clean. Don't compromise. If your daughter comes to you and tell you, Daddy, this is my 18th birthday, I'm an adult now, according to the American law, I'm an adult, so I want to invite my friends. Don't give concessions here. Tell her, listen, this house is important. This house is a sanctuary for us, is an ethical, moral sanctuary. This house is a place of peace and harmony and stability and ethics and religion and God. I don't want to corrupt my house. I can't have a party. You can't have a party here in this house. I can't accept. You have to respect the rules. No partying. So keep the house clean. This is number 1. This is how you protect your children. Keep the house clean. Keep the house safe. The environment of the house should not be corrupt. Those who lost their children, go and ask them. You know many in your community who lost their daughters and sons in a huge number. There was a mass exodus from the house. All the children are away. They are not with their parents. Ask them. They tell you. The house was in a state of anarchy. Anyone who wants to throw a party, he's welcomed. Alcohol is welcomed. The haram things are welcomed. Bad movies, crazy music. That's not a nice house. That's not a stable house. That's an intoxicated house. A house that has been overwhelmed with sins and violations cannot produce righteous children, definitely. وَالْبَلَدُ الطَّيِّبُ يَخْرُجُ نَبَاتُهُ بِإِذْنِ رَبِّهِ وَالَّذِي خَبُثَ لَا يَخْرُجُ إِلَّا نَكِدًا. Only the environment which is nice can produce something nice. The environment that is corrupt produces nothing but evil. وَالَّذِي خَبُثَ لَا يَخْرُجُ إِلَّا نَكِدًا. So no compromise on this. Keep the house a place for the angels to come. Out, no sins. Put a big sign on the main entrance. Say, no sinning in this house. No sins. Even I can tell you something, you may not accept that from me. No smoking in your house. No smoking. Period. I need to keep the house clean. Call me crazy, call me backward, call me a bad father, call me. I need to keep this smaller place that I have safe, clean, pure, healthy, productive and positive. So this is number one. Number two, you as a father and as a mother, please listen to me, especially mothers, because most of the shoppings are done by mothers. We fathers, we are too lazy to go for shopping, too busy. We leave this task to our wives, to the mothers. Don't purchase something haram, no haram meat. I know some people ask me, they say, in my town, in my village, in my neighborhood, there is no halal shop. There is no halal grocery shop. You can travel 30 miles, 50 miles, but don't eat haram. There is no excuse. In some traditions, they give concessions. If you can't find the halal meat here in this shop, just to bring any meat and say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. This is not what we learned from the Quran. In the Holy Quran, Surah Al-An'am, verse 119 and 121, check it out. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَا تَأْكُلُوا مِمَّا لَمْ يُذْكَرِ اسْمُ اللَّهِ عَلَيْهِ. Period. If the name of God has not been uttered over this, what you call it as the biha, the animal, at the time of slaughtering it, if the name of God has not been uttered, don't eat it. وَلَا تَأْكُلُوا. Stay away from it. Don't put haram food in your children's stomach. You will see the effect, the bad effect later on. Don't put anything haram, anything stolen, anything does not belong to you, anything is not your own money, not your own wealth. Don't put anything in their mouth. Neither their mouth nor clothing, what they wear. The money should be halal, pure. Because the money that is haram, when they consume the haram, unlawful food, unlawful money, they're going to see the repercussions on their life. Many parents, they wonder, what did I do that my daughter ran away, my son ran away, my son did this or did that? What did I do? Maybe at some point you and your family, you consumed something haram, unlawful, illegal Islamically, and you see the result after 10 years or 20 years or 30 years. It happens. This is also spiritual and moral intoxicants. Stay away from haram. Eating the haram, consuming the haram would result in having our prayers and dua being rejected. لا تدعوني والسحت في بطونكم. Allah said to Moses, "O Moses, please say to your community, don't remember me, don't mention me, don't call upon me while the haram is inside your stomachs. I'm not going to listen to you. I'm not going to listen to you. You are wasting your time. Your dua is not reaching me." So stay away from the haram. Try the bite that you give to your children, try to make it pure and halal. When you pay your zakat, when you pay your khums, when the money is not yours, belongs to others, and you don't touch it, you don't use it, you are making sure that your children are safe. They're going to be safe. The other thing that one must do to protect his children and his family, try to teach your children to go to the mosque and to like the mosque. Many parents, they teach their children to go to movie theaters. Many children, many parents teach their children to go to parties. I know some families, they never miss any birthday party, believe me. Any birthday party in this city, in this town, in this zip code, they are the first one to be there and the last one to leave. Their daughter every day, mashallah. I ask him, where's your daughter? I don't see her in the mosque. Well, today she's invited with her mother to a birthday party. Then you ask him 1 week later, where is your daughter? Well, she has another birthday party. You know, she has a friend. And then you ask the third time, she's in the birthday party. And then you ask the fourth time, the fifth time. There is a price for that. You're going to pay the price, heavy price for that. I'm telling you. I'm giving you the good news. You're going to see a terrible, terrible situation in your life with this daughter, with this son. So teach them the way to the masjid. Enough birthday parties. Enough. Teach them how to go to the masjid, how to go to the Islamic lecture, how to go to the Quranic class, how to go to the tafsir class, how to go to a dua session, prayers, Friday prayers. Teach your children to come to the Friday prayers. Encourage them. Tell them, I give you now money. Come with me. Encourage them, encouragement. Children need encouragement. Then they would learn it after that. Maybe you give money in the beginning, but then they're going to remind you, oh daddy, tomorrow I'm coming with you to the Friday prayers. I'm driving you to the Friday prayers. Leave it on me, I'll take you with me. Teach them the road, the way, the direction to the masjid. Now, we have a problem here. Parents come to me and tell me, Maulana, we bring our children to the masjid, but the masjid is boring for them. Yes, I agree with you. With some mosques, they are really boring. With some centers, they are super boring. Because they have nothing but old-fashioned, traditional programs and only lamentation, no single smile, tears, cries, screams, and nothing else. What do you expect the child his reaction to be? We need to attract them through good programs, not boring programs. This is the responsibility of the board of directors. Those in the board of directors who are traditional, they come from the jungles of certain continents and countries. They have to sit at home and do these programs in their living rooms, not the Islamic Center. The Islamic Center should be open for the new generation. So when they come, they learn something useful. Useful. They don't get shocked. They go back home with a message that changes their life. We have to revolutionize, especially in the Indo-Pakistani culture. You have to revolutionize your methods, your approach. Stop classical, boring programs. Try to be innovative, creative, in creating something that is based on the Quran, on the Sunnah of the Prophet, on the life of Ahlul Bayt, but is educational, progressive, useful. So your son and your daughter, they use it and they implement it in their life, in their school, at their university, in their marriage. Don't bombard them with boring things, old-fashioned things that you learned when you were in this island or in this country or in that continent. Don't do this. You are making this the new generation disfranchised. disillusioned with the Islamic centers. They run away because you did not provide them with the correct programs. This is the responsibilities of the resident so-called scholars and the board of directors. Try to be creative. ادع إلى سبيل ربك بالحكمة. Incorporate your reason, brain, intelligence. Stop the boring traditional programs at your centers. So this is the second point. We have to teach and encourage our children to go to the Islamic center. The third or the fourth point, if you don't have a full-time Islamic school, because most of the Islamic full-time schools in America and Canada are a disaster, most of them. Few of them they do good. Most of them they do bad. Academically they are disaster. No organization, no credential teachers, and they really waste the life of the young Muslim generation. The school has to be professionally run. The teachers have to have credentials. The academic level has to be high and distinguished. But we have a problem, we have to admit. 90% of Islamic schools, full-time Islamic schools in America are disaster. Maybe just 10% of them, they do well. But you have a weekend school near your house in the local mosque. Register your children in the weekend school, either Saturday or Sunday. Take them there. Again, we have another complaint by many parents. They say the weekend school is not doing well. I agree, yes. I agree wholeheartedly. Many of our weekend schools are not doing good. Why? Because the principal brings his daughter, his mother, his wife to teach, and they don't have a credential, especially when it comes to Arabic language. It's funny that most of those who teach Arabic language, they themselves, they need to study Arabic well, to correct their grammar, their pronunciation. Or they bring people to teach Islamic studies and they are not qualified. Because again, the work is based on volunteers, and believe me, volunteers do not do a good job. You have to hire professionals, experts in their field. Many children, they go to Saturday and Sunday and weekend school, their time is wasted. And many parents, they take their children to weekend schools not to learn, just to keep the house away from noises and disturbance on Saturday or Sunday. Many parents, they want to go shopping, or go to a restaurant, enjoy the day. So they have 3 noisy kids. They take them to the school. Stay here. We'll come and pick you up after 3-4 hours. They throw the kids at the poor teachers who are there. We don't take it serious. We treat Sunday school or Saturday school like a playground or a babysitting. Also, we have to think about that. We have to revolutionize our Saturday and Sunday schools. If we want to protect our children, this is the way, this is the road. There is no magical solution coming from the sky. What I am telling you is the solution. These points that I mentioned. Then another way of protecting our children, and that is the friends. Choose good friends for your children. Don't allow your children to mingle with anyone in the neighborhood. Be selective on friends. Be selective. Friends play a major role in your children's life. They have a big influence on your children's mentalities. Be careful with the friends. Examine the friends. Ask about the friends. Those who come and Go out with your son, with your daughter, with your child. Ask about them. Don't assign your daughter, your son to any person, to any family, to any friend. Friends have to be religiously, morally, ethically, socially compatible. Maybe not financially, no problem. If you are rich, you can have friends from less fortunate families. No problem. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about and focusing on ethical compatibility, ethical, moral, religious compatibility. Because if your son has good manners and he goes with someone who has bad manners for 3 weeks, you can see the bad effect and the bad result on your son's life and mind and personality. I assure you. Because a friendship is contagious. If you go with good people, you learn good things. If you go with bad, you learn bad stuff. So be careful of your children's friends and also your own friends. What type of friends you have? There are many families around you. With whom you go, with whom you eat, with whom you socialize, you have to be careful. Stay away from certain families. They have bad influence. Stay away from them. The other thing that can save your children's dignity and life and religion in the West is if you are able to save some money. I know it's very hard nowadays to save money in America and Europe due to the economic circumstances. But if you can afford saving some money, try to take them to Umrah. Try to take them to the Ziyarah. Bring them to poor countries like Iraq, like other countries. Show them how orphans live. Show them the needy families. Show them the deprivation in these countries. Bring them to the Haram, to the Ziyarah. Tell them about Imam Hussein. Tell them about Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen. About the Kadhimain, Askariyain. About Imam al-Ridha. Tell them, take them to these holy shrines. These are a great source of inspiration. We have a treasure troves. This one behind me, Al-Abbas. On this side, Imam al-Hussein. But we don't know anything about them. We know nothing but crying and lamentation. We know nothing about their lessons. Let them come here and look and observe and live for themselves firsthand how those leaders achieved and contributed and sacrificed. These are great lessons, great inspirations. We need to bring our children. Some parents, they take their children to Las Vegas. They take them to, I don't know, where else. One time decide that I have to save some money. I have 2 kids. I have to bring them to the Ziyarah one time. Let them come. Let them see. It's a life-changing, I'm telling you. It's a life-changing experience. And last but not least, how to protect the children. We have to have in every Islamic center a youth group, a youth organization, led, run, organized, managed from A to Z by the youth, not by those who are in their 90s and 95 years old. Only by the youth, for the youth, of the youth. It has to be by them, but supervised, of course, by some wise people, experienced people. Youth camps, winter, summer youth camps, intensive course for 3 days, 4 days, where they learn some values. They pick up some good things. Take them to these places. It will change their life, inshallah. I would leave it there, and I will speak tomorrow about, I spoke today about one branch of our responsibility in the West and that is to maintain and protect our own selves and our own families. Tomorrow I'm going to speak about the second branch and the second responsibility, and that is the da'wah, reaching out, missionaries, how to invite others to our beautiful religion. I leave you in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, hoping to be able to reconnect with you in the next session, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
أنتم نور لنا والشمس منكم تستمد سناها الخير كل الخير عند ولائكم وبكم نجاة النفس حين رداها نفسي تسلم للنبي ولا